Goosebumps needs no introduction at this point, but for any of you who just climbed out of the primordial goop,
look at this dude. Wait till you see the...
let me give you the rundown here. The original Goosebumps series was a run of 62 children's horror books released between 1992 and 1997, written by the absolute mad lad RL Stine. Now, this man has written more books than I will ever read in my entire life, and of these books, some of them were the Fear Street books, which are more of a teen-leaning series, which also recently had a rated R 3-film series release on Netflix, which I highly recommend checking out because those things are awesome. Mostly ghostly. The Nightmare Hour, as well as the Haunting Hour anthology books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 main title runs of Goosebumps. And of these original Goosebumps books, we have great themes such as Dad is a plant and he's trying to beat us. I'm afraid of dog. Now I am becoming a dog. This scary camera keeps killing the people I love. This latex mask makes my allergies act up, as well as my emotions. Oh, what do we have here? Watch Goosebumps on Fox TV? The Goosebumps TV series, running from 1995 to 1998, is probably most people's fondest memories with the series.
Potato?
For being a 90s children's show, it got pretty downright scary being a kid. Now, while everyone remembers the original Goosebumps series, I rarely see anyone bring up what I consider to be a much more serious take on this formula, and that would be R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour. Now, The Haunting Hour aired on the Hub, which most people probably know from being the channel that hosted My Little Pony's Friendship is Magic.
Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash.
But if you didn't know, the Hub was actually just Discovery Kids rebranded. So if you ever were wondering where Discovery Kids went, that's where it went. The show originally aired on October 29th, 2010 and ran up until October of 2014. And so with that, I would like to take a look at R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour. I've chosen 2 episodes today based on their summaries that I have not seen that I think would be pretty cool to take a look at. So the first one we're going to take a look at is The Walls. The summary for this one is a young boy named Jeffrey moves into a new house with his family only to discover that someone or something is living behind the walls of the new home. So we're going to go ahead and plop our ears on and jump right into this. The episode starts with Jeffrey and his family moving into a new home that Jeffrey is not very pleased to move into because he thinks it's creepy.
I don't know. It looks kind of creepy. Why couldn't we have gotten a normal-looking house?
I know the actor's trying his best here, but God, he needs work.
Is your bedroom pretty awesome?
Dad, this is a baby's room.
Jeffrey, I don't think that's a baby's room. I think that's literally a serial killer's room. Like, look at this. Who has wallpaper like this? This isn't a baby. What baby's gonna like this? That baby grew up to be Jeffrey Dahmer. There's a bunch of kids sitting outside of Jeffrey's house as he's moving in, and as he goes to talk to them, they all run away. But one kid stays behind and explains why everybody's so afraid of this house.
Hey, I'm Jeffrey. Chuck. Why'd they all run off? 'Cause you moved into that house. What's wrong with it? Ask the old man that used to live there. Oh yeah, that's right. You can't. He's dead.
Chuck, get in here.
Jeffrey's parents are installing a new TV as Jeffrey walks in to be like, hey, guys, my shit's missing. Also, Jeffrey's mom?
Where'd you get that?
Kind of a fucking Betty, am I right, fellas? Jeffrey makes another snide comment about how little he likes this house, and then his dad goes on this incredibly scary, unnerving tangent to him that just left me feeling uncomfortable.
This new job is it's a big step up for me. And I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but I would really appreciate it if you could at least pretend to like it here. Just for a little bit.
Who knows? Maybe if you pretend for a little while, you'll actually start to like it here for real.
It's called acting as if.
What the fuck, Dad? We cut to Jeffrey getting woken up in the middle of the night by a bunch of noises that scare him, so much that he runs into his parents' room and starts freaking out.
Honey, what happened?
Jeffrey's dad walks in to investigate, and Jeffrey tells him to check underneath the bed after Jeffrey's dad says there's nothing in this room.
What is it? What do you see?
Jeffrey's dad's kind of a dickhead. Like, what was the purpose of doing that? It's just scaring the shit out of your kid who's already scared. You're just gonna have a seizure on the floor? Jeffrey goes back to sleep, but the monster is not very fond of his nightlight and unplugs it.
Too bright.
The monster's got the new Yeezy slides. This line kills me.
We're having pancakes? Where's the blueberry syrup?
Jeffrey, looking for his precious,
Blueberry syrup.
can't seem to find it, and then his mom checks the cabinet and it's right there again, which his parents then both lay down that they're having some pretty good luck living in this new area.
Did your mother tell you? She found a boutique that wants to carry your clothing line?
That's great, Mom.
And your father's getting a company car, a Range Rover.
Top of the line. All leather interior, just like I've always wanted.
Jeffrey, I'm gonna make a cake. Do you want chocolate peanut butter or strawberry dump cake?
Shit, I want your strawberry dump cake. Jeffrey's going through some more moving boxes, and Chuck comes over to spill some more exposition about the house to him and ask him if he had found the sugar cave yet.
Who said anything about a haunted house? I was just wondering if you found the sugar cave yet. What are you talking about? I used to watch the old rich guy who lived there haul bag after bag of sugar inside. He said he was feeding the walls. How messed up is that? Feeding the walls. He said terrible things would happen if he didn't supply the sugar cave.
Jeffrey starts hearing some weird noises in the walls as he starts to investigate and runs into his dad, who tells him it's probably just, a bird or a squirrel or something that got stuck in the wall. And then Jeffrey's mom finds a delicious cake that she made completely demolished in Jeffrey's closet.
You ate all the cake. I just found this in your closet.
I didn't touch it, I swear! You don't believe me, do you?
Jeffrey, calm down. Jeffrey?
And you didn't believe me when I said I didn't like it here. You told me to pretend to like it, but I can't pretend. I hate it here.
Jeffrey hears some more banging in his room before discovering, I told you that this wallpaper was by Jeffrey Dahmer. That's a Jeffrey Dahmer exclusive home article, Martha Stewart, Bed Bath & Beyond catalog ass fucking wallpaper. Jeffrey takes a look inside the hole and notices his RV car's in there. So Jeffrey decides to pull a white people renovating homes move and drills a hole into the drywall.
If you tell anyone about me, I'll take your parents.
Jeffrey's parents burst in the room wondering why he's screaming, and he pretty much can't tell them anything because the monster said that he would take his parents from him. So Jeffrey tells his parents that, actually, I love this house, and I love this scene because you can clearly see the monster just peeking right there. How do you guys not notice that? Jeffrey wakes up the next morning and his mom's made pancakes, so he goes to reach for his
Blueberry syrup.
and the monster is there and stops him and says, hey, I want more syrup.
More syrup.
What's that, Jeffrey?
I was just saying that, we don't have any syrup left.
I could swear that we have another one.
Oh, no, let me just go and run down to the market and, just give me a chance to get to know the neighborhood.
So Chuck, seeing Jeffrey come home from the store, asks him what's in the bag. Jeffrey tells him it's
Blueberry syrup.
but it's not for him, it's for the monster in the wall. And Chuck, being the absolute maniac he is, immediately says, I want to go see it.
Awesome. I want to go see it. No, you can't. I threatened to take my parents if I said anything. Hey, it can take my parents anytime. Chuck, this isn't a joke. Besides, even if I could tell them, there's no way they'd believe me. Seems to me you only got one option. Time to change the flavor of that syrup. Say bye-bye to the thing in the walls.
This kid is legit serial killer. somebody needs to get him away from small animals immediately. So Jeffrey goes to plant his poisoned
Blueberry syrup.
in the cabinet, but then his dad wants some waffles and wants the syrup, so Jeffrey has to immediately smash it before the monster can take it.
No, Dad!
Jeffrey! Look at the mess! What's gotten into you?
The monster starts talking to Jeffrey in the vents asking for more syrup, and as Jeffrey is desperate, he tells his friend Chuck that the plan didn't work. So, Chuck decides, hey, I got something that can solve that.
That's why I have these. The ultimate resource for all things monster.
I'm just kidding. Chuck actually pulls out 2 encyclopedias on everything about monsters. They end up looking through them and finding something called a Clement, which seems to fit the thing on the wall.
Ever heard of a Clement? A Clement? It's a wall dweller with a sweet tooth and a nasty temper. That's gotta be it. Wait. What? These bug bombs are left over from when we had silverfish last summer. My dad said they're totally lethal.
My dad said it's totally lethal. Why is this kid allowed to have this in his garage? Keep him away from these things. He's clearly a menace to society, cannot be maintained or controlled. So Jeffrey and Chuck decide to go hunt down the Clement. Chuck says that the sugar cave was hidden behind a secret door in the nursery, which Jeffrey says he bets he knows where it's at.
Bingo. Sweet. All right, give me the syrup. You sure about this? Yeah. I'll wait here. Look out for your parents.
You best stay away from her, you goddamn monster. Jeffrey enters the cave looking for the monster, trying to flush him out, but the monster ends up finding him first.
What are you doing in my walls?
Oh, I was just... The last time I tried to get you syrup, the bottle broke, so... I figured I should probably bring it to you now.
The Clement, being an absolute monster for
Blueberry syrup.
decides that this isn't sus at all, and decides, to drink the bottle right then and there.
More syrup.
You haven't even finished that bottle yet. Calm down. Take it easy, Tiger.
Here you go.
Jesus Christ! I don't think it's the best idea to be sitting there inhaling that after your psycho friend just said, hey, that's lethal. Shouldn't be breathing in the same room as that stuff, much less spraying it right in front of your own face. So Jeffrey's being chased by the Clement. As he runs out, it grabs his leg and his parents storm in the room, and his dad grabs the Clement, and he's pretty much just holding it like a little baby, telling his wife to turn off the lights.
I think my mom's calling me.
That is the only sane thing you've ever said, Chuck. Jeffrey tells his parents that, like, hey, this is the thing that's been stealing my stuff and harassing me every single night. Please get it out of here. And his dad's like, nah, son, this is a great thing for the house. And they explain that they've been looking for a house with a Clement.
Do you realize how long it took us to find a house with a Clement?
What? You guys knew all along?
Of course we knew. Clements bring good fortune.
Jeffrey, understandably upset about the whole situation, is like, hey, this thing's been messing with me every single night, and it killed the guy who used to live here.
Jeffrey, that old man was 114 years old. He had a 29-year-old girlfriend.
Ew. Gross. Jeffrey, upset at this point, is like, hey, you guys knew about this. Why did you make me feel like I was crazy? And his dad drops a truth bomb on him that the more people who know about the Clement, the less luck you'll have.
We couldn't tell you.
And if we have good luck, well then so do you.
How? So what do I get?
Don't you like living in a big house? Huh? And having a nice car?
That stuff is for you guys. I mean, what do I get? I wonder how many people would be interested in hearing about the thing that lives in our wall.
I love how the Clement right here is like, hey, you hearing this shit, man?
Well, what exactly is it that you want, dear?
So after Jeffrey bribes his parents with the fear of telling the entire world about the Clement, him and his parents both switch rooms, so now Jeffrey has this nice big TV that him and his buddy Chuck can live the good life and eat sweets and watch movies and drink soda. And his parents get the nursery where they have to take care of the Clement, and it keeps them up all night begging for syrup.
Look, if you don't feed him again, he's gonna do that all night.
Give me syrup. I want syrup. Syrup.
And so that was Walls. Overall, I thought this show was less cheesy than Goosebumps, but I'm starting to see that this might be just as cheesy. Maybe the next one will be better. I doubt it, considering the summary of it, but I like this episode. I like the twist at the end where, you know, the parents knew that this was there and they wanted to keep it around for good luck, but they couldn't tell the kid because more people that know, the less good luck it gives. And then them having to deal with it because the kid's a little shithead. That's a good little mix-up. There's a couple decent shots in here that were actually legitimately scary, you know, jump scared me a little bit. But yeah, that was The Walls. Our next episode coming from season 2 is going to be Flight. The description for this one is a young boy goes on his first plane ride alone and gets caught in the middle of the fight for survival when the Grim Reaper forces a dead man to cross over into the afterlife. So let's check this one out. The episode starts during the boarding process of getting on the plane, with passengers coming on and our main character Josh, being an unaccompanied minor, being asked if the flight attendant can help him to his seat.
Flying all by yourself sure is exciting, isn't it?
Wouldn't know. It's my first time flying ever.
Well, I mean, you would still know. You're doing it right now. Is it exciting, kid? Josh takes his seat on the plane and introduces himself to the businessman sitting next to him. The lights on the plane begin to flicker, which leaves Josh looking visibly concerned.
Nothing to worry about, kid.
I totally wasn't worried.
Josh begins to do a grounding technique that his dad taught him, to hold his hand out and just focus on his hand until he stops shaking. And the guy next to him notices and says, "Hey kid, what are you doing?" And he explains to him, you know, my dad taught me this, and my dad's kind of lame, but this is one thing that he says that isn't lame.
Thought you weren't nervous, kid.
I'm not, see? And I'm not a kid.
Hey, so what do you think this means? Get that son of a bitch out of my sight. You get used to flying alone. I do it all the time. It's great. No one else to worry about. You just sit back and enjoy the ride.
The two passengers in front of Josh notice a coffin being loaded into the undercarriage of the plane, which they both crack jokes at, and Josh notices and brings it up to the other guy.
Oh, there's a corpse on board, right below our feet. It's creepy, but it's kind of cool.
It's not cool. It's disrespectful is what it is.
This guy wants to talk about respect like he didn't just, ooh, that kid just 5 seconds before this.
Crew should have loaded the body privately. Give the poor soul some dignity. Show some respect.
Show some respect. Totally. You're totally right.
As our final passenger boards the plane, it's this really old-ass lady who walks up to Josh and is just being real weird. And she tells Josh, you know, hey, there's no reason to be nervous, child.
Nothing to be nervous about, child.
I'm not nervous.
Everything is happening as it should.
Why is nobody on this plane noticing this old-ass lady touching this unaccompanied minor? Like, what's the dude in his seat doing right now? And the old lady takes a seat behind Josh, and with that, the plane takes off for landing, gets up in the air successfully, and Josh and his new friend, passenger, businessman, whatever you would like to call him, sit down and have a little chat together.
How long is this flight?
You in a hurry?
To see my lame dad and his lame girlfriend? No way.
You don't want to see your own dad?
I guess. I don't know. It's just ever since my dumb parents' dumb divorce, Dad's been all, a boy needs to spend time with his father. Even though I totally don't, and him and his new girlfriend totally don't even want me there. I mean, I could totally tell.
You guys remember when you used to talk like this as a 10-year-old boy? Everything was just dumb parents, dumb girlfriend, lame house, lame car. I totally could leave if I totally wanted to, and no one would totally look for me, and I just go totally live in the lame woods with my dumb dog. And
it's like, you divorced, I live with Mom. Can you move on already?
Moving on is tough, especially from a divorce.
our passenger here spills some more information about how he's a very busy businessman that has no time for marriage and just has time for work and working towards the good life. He then calls the stewardess over, and she can't seem to hear him.
He had to take the puddle jumper with no first class.
Our flight continues on as the plane hits a thunderstorm, and Josh takes a little nappy because obviously he was a very grumpy baby, and it's really tiring saying dumb, dumb, totally, totally, lame, lame, lame all day. I know that was supposed to be scary, but the Grim Reaper just looked like an oversized Jawa. Josh immediately wakes up from this nightmare, but he doesn't believe it's a nightmare, and so he's pretty freaked out and starts doing the hand thing again, which our passenger notices and asks him, "Yo, the hell's wrong with you, kid?"
Have you ever had a dream so freaky?
That you could do so.
I guess. Just tell me the dream.
You want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Lower your voice. You're gonna freak people out.
Josh actually tells our passenger that his nightmare was that the old lady behind them knitting is the Angel of Death, the Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper? Big scary thing? Kills you and
I
takes
know
your...
who the Reaper is, kid. There's no such thing.
But I swear I saw her. It, whatever, Robin, everything.
Our passenger suggests that maybe Josh should take a second, stretch his legs, walk down the aisle, catch his breath, clear out his head. While Josh is in whatever back room of a plane this is, I've never seen this before, the passenger feels like he's being stared at by the old lady and magically appears behind Josh and starts freaking out because Josh has now convinced him that that sweet old lady is the Grim Reaper. So they're both sitting back here and they want to scope her out a little bit.
Here, let's see what she's doing. Knitting. Of course. Seems innocent enough. No.
With our passenger now completely convinced that that old lady is the Grim Reaper, they're trying to figure out why she's on the plane. First, they think she's going to crash the entire plane and kill them all. However, Josh believes that she's here because of the body that's in the cargo hold, and that she wants to collect its soul and take it to the other side.
Too bad we don't know who it is, though. So we could warn them, they could run away. Float away, something.
What are you, crazy? You want to mess with the Reaper? The Angel of Death. No way, look. I'm the adult here. I say we go back to our seats, lay low, stay out of her way.
Yeah, you're the adult here who's talking complete utter nonsense about how, hey, you don't want to mess with the Angel of Death. That makes sense, kid. Yeah, she's totally here on this freaking plane to save that dead body's soul and take it to the underworld. But you don't want to mess with her. No. I'm the smart guy. I'm the big grown-up adult here, baby. Let's go back to our seat. He goes back to his seat, and as he's going back to his seat, he's like, hey, where the hell is this guy? Please don't leave me up here with the Reaper. And as he turns over, the passenger immediately appears in the seat.
Come on. Don't leave me up here alone with the Reaper.
There you are.
How... You just... No. It's you.
At this point, Josh has figured out that the passenger is the body that is actually below them, and that he is the ghost that the Reaper wants.
Your body's right below us. Hey, trying to get her to take me instead of you.
I don't know why this line is said because it never comes up again, or was it ever implied that the passenger is trying to get Josh taken by the Grim Reaper. After this, the stewardess asks Josh if he would take his seat because the seatbelt sign is on, which he replies, I can't, it's uncomfortable, to which the stewardess replies, how could it be uncomfortable? You have 2 whole seats to yourself.
Did you hear that? She couldn't even see you.
For the last time, I am not a ghost.
The plane experiences some electrical issues as Josh asks the passenger to stick out his hand, to which the passenger does, and Josh's hand passes right through the passenger's hand.
I remember dying now. Car accident. It wasn't pretty.
I'm sorry.
Why was that shot so fucking good? Like, that was legitimately a good shot. The passenger, now realizing that he's dead, is starting to grapple with what this means and why he lived his life the way that he did. But he doesn't have long to mull this all over before the old lady, or Grim Reaper, starts coming down the aisle, ready to take his soul.
Why now?
I think it's because she can't take the spirits until they know they're dead.
Well, then I'm not dead. No way. I'm not.
Oh, there's something wrong with the plane's electrical system. I'm telling you.
At this point, our passenger ghost is not very keen on leaving this world and going with the Grim Reaper, so he starts freaking out as she tries to claim his soul. This causes more issues with the plane as a plane engine explodes.
Dude, don't you see what's happening? The electricity going out, stop breaking down? You're making that happen. Every time you get mad or resist the truth or whatever, like you said, you can't mess with the Reaper. What's gotta happen is gotta happen. Right?
The plane is going down and must make an emergency landing at the nearest airport, while our passenger ghost is still not on board with the idea of giving his soul over to the Grim Reaper. As he grows more anxious and angry, another plane engine explodes.
As far as I'm concerned, you can just knit, because I'm not going with you, ever!
You think the other engine has stopped?
Our passenger ghost sits back down in his seat, as the plane is definitely in critical condition at this point and will not be able to fly much longer. Josh asks, if you had such a great life, doesn't everyone else in this plane deserve to have the same life that you did? The ghost starts lamenting on his life and telling Josh that he always felt like something was missing.
You never got the chance to what? You were totally free.
That's just it. I never had to think about anybody but myself. The thing is, that can make you hard, untrusting, and selfish. And I never made a connection. I never made a true connection.
You mean love? Getting married?
More than that.
Virgin. But what the passenger ghost actually meant was he doesn't even know if he has any friends because everyone in his life he's pushed away out of hopes of not being disappointed by anyone, and Josh relates to this as Josh is doing the same with his father right now and pushing him away because he misses him, and due to the divorce he thinks if he acts like he doesn't care, then maybe he won't care and it won't hurt so much.
I guess that's kind of selfish too.
You're young and alive. You can change.
So can you.
Josh tells the passenger that he can change as well by moving on and saving everyone on this plane instead of going down in a selfish death and taking all these people with him. This is actually such a touching and beautiful scene to see in something like a children's horror series that's kind of cheesy. I really love this scene.
I'm ready.
Oh! Jesus Christ!
You're gonna be all right, kid.
And with that, our passenger moved on to the other side, presumably gotten to heaven for his selfless act of not murdering an entire plane of people. The plane's power comes back on, and the plane lands successfully at whatever destination it was going to. We get one last scene where the boy asks the Grim Reaper if it was fate that brought him and the passenger together, that he was the only one who could have helped him move along.
I think I get how come I was the only one who could see him. We were kind of alike, and fate or something wanted us to meet and help each other figure that stuff out. Right?
No, of course not. I just like fucking with you.
Well, I figured. Later.
Without a doubt.
So that was the flight. This one was actually so much better than the first one. And I thought this one was going to be the shittier of the two just based on the summary alone, but this one was actually so good. Like the suspense and the build-up in the beginning to figuring out that like this guy sitting next to him is a ghost. Towards the end, like the closing scenes, I didn't have a lot of jokes to make about it. There really wasn't that much going on that was funny. It was like actually touching in a way. This one was way better, and this is what I remember the series being more as, like a lot darker than say Goosebumps was, but without all the corn of like the other episode. So just kind of to wrap everything up here, I think both of these episodes were fun in their own way. Flight being more, you know, what I would remember the series being, and then Walls just being kind of goofy like Goosebumps. There's a lot just that made me laugh that shouldn't have made me laugh. But if you want me to do more of this, please let me know, because there are plenty of episodes of the show that I have seen that are really good, like Swarm and Norman, Flu, Mascot's one that would be really fun to cover. But if you want me to do more of this, please let me know. Halloween's coming up. I got a bunch of nice Halloween videos planned for the channel, so really gonna start banging those out. And yeah, if you liked it, please leave it a like, and see you in the next one.